So our next topic is water cycle. So water cycle is a process of condensation and evaporation. So in nature we can see that this condensation and evaporation process, it takes place in the form of water cycle. So how these two processes are known as water cycle? So let's see it with the help of this diagram which is given in your book. So here you can see this is an earth. It is a nature where we can find some trees, soil, ocean, lakes. We can find the water in the lakes and oceans. Even there is some mountains, hills, and also we can see some clouds above in the atmosphere. So we can find the two processes, that is evaporation and condensation, taking place in the nature. Now evaporation, it always takes place on heating. So heating will take place during the daytime, so it may also take place during the night time. So what happens? Evaporation means it is a change of water into water vapor. Water vapor is a hot air. So those changes, it may take place in the river water, in the ocean water, in the water which is found in the soil, maybe from the trees, maybe from the any water which we are using for taking bath, for washing clothes, for washing dishes, or maybe for cooking. So because of all those, when we are cooking, we are using heat, so obviously there will be evaporation. And also when there is lot of sunlight or very little amount of sunlight, still there will be evaporation which is taking place in the river, in the oceans, in the soil, from the plants. Okay, so during the evaporation process, the hot air, that means the water will change into hot air, which is water vapor. And those hot air, it always goes up in the atmosphere, in the higher level of the atmosphere. Okay, evaporation is taking place on heating, and water is changing into water vapor, which is a hot air, and hot air is rising up in the atmosphere, in the higher level of the atmosphere. Now when it comes to the higher level, we can see that, we can find that in the higher level of the atmosphere, the temperature is very low. That means it is cool in the higher level. So when the temperature is cool, on cooling, we can find the process condensation. So condensation process will take place now, which is the change of water vapor into water. Now those hot air, that is water vapor, will change into water, okay, on cooling, because it is coming in contact with the cool air. Now those cool air will change vapor into water. Now these small drops of water will be found in the higher level of the atmosphere, and those small drops of water, they will together come in contact and they will form large drops of water, which is known as clouds. Okay, so that means these clouds are actually large or huge drops of water. So this is formed due to the process condensation. Again, these large drops of water when it is large, when it is more in quantity, it is very heavy. So now when it is becoming bigger, it gets heavier. So these water drops will fall down on the earth in the form of rain. Again, this rainwater will come to the soil, to the earth, to the lakes, to the oceans. Okay, again evaporation process will take place because of heating. Hot air will go up, again there will be condensation, again there will be formation of rain. So it is taking place in the form of a cycle: evaporation, condensation, evaporation, condensation, isn't it? So this is water cycle. Our next topic is dew. You must have seen drops of water on grass, cars, window, etc. This is called dew. So let's see how the dew is formed and what is dew. We can see dew in winter season. And why is it formed? Dew is formed when water vapor in the air condenses on coming in contact with a cold surface. So the surface, if the surface is cold, the water vapor which is in the atmosphere, in the air, they will come in contact with the cold surface and it will condense. That means it will change into water drops. So we will find these drops of water on the surface of the grass, on the surface of the cars, maybe chair, maybe window, or maybe over the tin, over the roof of the house. We can see this only in winter season. So you must be familiar with this type of drops of water in the grass during winter season. You may check it sometimes early in the morning. You will see this type of drops of water on the grasses. Now let's see what is fog. Fog is common during winters. Again, fog also we can see in winter season. Fog is formed when water vapor in the air condenses on dust particles just above the ground. So the dust particles which is found above the ground, with those dust particles, if the water vapor in the air comes in contact, then it becomes a fog. Okay, so we can find a fog just above the ground. So thick fog makes it difficult for drivers of vehicles to drive. Flights get delayed. Thick fog can also cause accidents. So fog, if there is a fog, then the atmosphere will be like this. Okay, so it will not be very clear what is there in front of us. Even the cars, they will have to use the lights during the daytime also. So it is very risky for the drivers to drive if there is a lot of fog, because it is not clear, it is not visible what is there in front of us. So this is about fog, and we can get the fog when the water vapor which is in the air comes in contact with the dust particles which is just above the ground. Hail. Hail means the ice which is coming along with the rainwater. ओके हमें आप लोग भी बहुत फेमिलियर होगा, हम लोग बोलता है कि बारिश का साथ पत्थर गिर रहे. ओके, पत्थर एक्चुअली क्या है? आइस है. सो दोस आर नोन एज hailstones. And how do we get the hailstones? So let's see. When raindrops pass through very cold air, they freeze and become ice and fall down as hailstones. तो अभी यहाँ बोला गया है कि the rain water, जब रेन वाटर गिरता है और अगर एटमॉस्फेयर में बहुत ज़्यादा ठंड हवा चल रहा होता है तो क्या होता है? बारिश हवा का साथ कांटेक्ट में आता है. ओके, तो जब बहुत ठंड हवा का साथ बारिश कांटेक्ट में आता है, बारिश तो पानी है, तो इट विल बी फ्रीजिंग. द वाटर विल फ्रीज, रेन वाटर विल फ्रीज. एंड व्हेन इट फ्रीजेस, अगर पानी फ्रीज हो जाता है तो क्या बनता है? इट बिकम्स एन आइस. सो लाइक दैट व्हेन रेन वाटर will come in contact with cold air, it will freeze and become ice. और वो जो ice बन जाता है, it will fall with the drops of water. So this is known as hailstone. So our next topic is snow. The air is very cold in high mountains. The water vapor in these regions condenses to form ice crystals and fall down as snow. अभी स्नो कहाँ मिलता है? इन माउंटेन्स. हिली एरियाज पे स्नो मिलता है, हाई माउंटेन्स पे. अभी हाई माउंटेन्स पे ही क्यों स्नो मिलता है? हमारे यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं? Why we don't get snow in the plain areas? Why? So the reason is because in high mountains there is very very cold air. वहाँ का हवा ज़्यादा ठंड होता है हमारे यहाँ का हवा से. ठंड जगह के हवा से हाई माउंटेन्स का हवा ज़्यादा ठंड होता है. तो अभी वहाँ पे क्या होगा? द वाटर वेपर क्या होगा? इफ़ द वाटर वेपर इन द माउंटेन्स कम्स इन कॉन्टेक्ट with the very cold air, they condenses to become ice crystals. Ice crystals बहुत छोटा छोटा ice crystals बनता है. Okay, so those will fall down and those are known as snow. So snow are what? Those are some small ice crystals. Okay, and we get the snow only in the high mountainous regions. So students, will continue with the next topic in the next video.